Alright guys, welcome to a new video on the channel, and as you can see here we have a couple of cards here, and yeah, I want to talk about my deck that I played at YCS Dortmund. I think it was a really good meta call, but unfortunately me and my friends who built this deck and together, and who also attended the event with the same deck, anticipated a lot more Draco Tail, or like branded Draco Tail, and Radiant Typhoon. But if you see the statistics, I'll show them here somewhere on the screen. You can see that it was only 26% Radiant Typhoon and Draco Tail together. And like 54% other decks, and then a little couple other decks like Malice, Pure Branded, etc. In between. And that made for a very diverse format, and also something that we didn't anticipate. This deck works extremely well against Radiant Typhoon, basically an auto win for this game, for this deck, I mean. And again, Branded Draco Tail, we have a lot of cards that counter this matchup. So that's why if these matchup would have been prevalent a little bit more, then this deck would have shined like way more. I'm still very happy about the choice because it worked tremendously well when it worked and when it should have worked. I'll talk about my matchups, etc. another time, but I'll show it here somewhere on the screen. You can pause if you want to. Yeah, if you're interested in that. Also check out my Twitter, because I always show the, or like write the matchup in real time when I'm attending an event. I'll link it down below in the video description. Anyways, let's get into the deck profile. It's an Onomat Ryzeal deck. We tried to do something very specific. This is the side deck, this is the extra deck, and this is the main deck. As you know, with the deck profiles. We're talking about the main deck first, then the extra deck, and then the side deck. So we put these to the side, and then we'll talk about the main deck first. And I also want to talk about some adjustments you can make to the deck list. If that is not your playstyle, because we're doing something very outrageous. You'll see in a second. Yeah, if that's not to your liking, and also if you want to play the deck in a different way, which I can recommend now that we know that the format is very much diverse than we expected, there's another way to play it. It's very convoluted. I'll show you anyways, and it includes a combo that I have been dying to do again since my Fiend with Ryzeal days, which is including Daigos to Emerald. So stay tuned for that. This is going to be a longer video because I want to talk in this deck a little bit more in depth. So yeah, stay tuned if you want to hear a little bit more about Ryzeal and Onomat cards. And yeah, then enjoy the deck profile. Alright, so for the Ryzeal cards, we play one Ext Ryzeal, two Ice Ryzeals, and two Sword Ryzeal, as well as the one Star Ryzeal and the one Node Ryzeal. So this is like obviously all the cards that exist that you should be playing. And then together with that, we are also playing the Ryzeal Cross and the Ryzeal Plugin. Usually you do not play Ryzeal Plugin, but in this deck it serves a specific purpose that you will see later. Also, this deck profile will include a lot of combos actually. So yeah, if you want to see these, you can just skip to the combo part of this video. So yeah, the combos will be very interesting for you to see, because this is something you don't see in every Ryzeal combo guide, I think. Anyways, this is the Ryzeal part. All of these cards are extremely broken. Star Ryzeal makes it so that you are having the craziest anti-nib lines possible, and it also makes it so you do not actually have to go into do drive to get to the cross, which is really broken. And obviously Ext is still a card of all time. Like whenever you see Ext in your hand, you're just smiling, because you cannot stop smiling because this card is so good. Plug-in came in very handy sometime too in game state where I didn't thought I would need it, but it came up. So that's also nice, and also makes it so if you only draw Ryzeal cards, that you still make the Stardish Baguska bot, which is one of these main combos that I'll be showing you later, where you incorporate plug-in into your combos. But yeah, and then Ryzeal Cross, obviously, I don't have to talk about Cross. It's the bread and butter of the deck. A little thing in hindsight already, I should have played 2 cross in the side deck for going first, but we'll come to that later. This is just something that you can't change. Anyways, this is about the Ryzeal cards. Nothing much to say because most of them are limited or semi-limited. Coming to the Onomat cards, which are the more interesting portion of the deck, I feel like. We have 1 Dodo Warrior, 2 Dodo Warriors, 3 Dodo Warriors, because this is the strongest starter. It's a special summon that dumps, it's like a circular essentially, which is really broken. Another very broken starter is Go Blind Burst. I think it's an even stronger starter than Ice Ryzeal if you do not have get hand trapped, obviously, because then this can get into anything. And the reason for that is that these cards, as well as the Ganbara Knight, that I'll be talking about in a second, all of these cards are very special because when you detach them for activation of an effect of an XYZ monster for cost, then they have a specific effect to add more in-archetypal cards. So if you detach the Dodo Warrior, for example, it can add a Subaba monster. If you detach the Go Blind Burst, it can add a Dodo monster. If you detach the Gambara Knight, it can add a Go monster. So all of these have specific effects that you can use in specific situations to push your game state forward, which is really, really nice if you can incorporate that into your strategy. Anyways, the next card is one of the weirder ones, which is Astrotopia. It's a card that I found together with a friend that I thought, the moment I saw it, I was like, wait a second, that's broken. And it actually is broken, because Astrotopia says if you control, or if an XYZ monster is on the field, you can special summon it. It's like an activate effect in hand, similar to the Dodo Warrior. And if it's on the field, you can send any card you control or in your hand to the graveyard, and then add a Onomat, an XYZ, a Sexa, or number spell trap, which is really broken because you can add the main starter of the deck, which is Onomat Pyra or Onomat Pickup, and you can also add the counter trap, which is in my side deck. So yeah, now you may ask, but why do you play this card? Well, as you can see, it's a light level 4, which means that the card that we play in order to get the Ryzeal card, which is 7 Tachyon, can add this card. So that makes it so that with this deck you thin out a lot and then you draw. This is essentially the strategy of the deck, or one of the side strategies of the deck. And sometimes you just happen to get into 7 Tachyon and then Astrotopia, and then game 2 or 3 you can just get the counter trap as well, in addition to your already existing board, which is really broken. Also, this card, like a 1-card combo into something that we do with this deck. So yeah, this is a really, really strong starter. Those are the main starters that are 1-card combos and that don't need anything else. Then we have these extenders, which is the Gambara Knight. You can special summon from hand, and if you show a Gagaga monster in your extra deck. And then the Onomatokagas. I would also play 2. I've tested it with 1 and it just feels bad. Also for the most optimal line, in my opinion, which I'll show you later in the combo part, you need 2 Onomatokaga in order to make everything more smooth and more just better. Not to forget, the Gambara Knight has a second effect. If he gets special summoned, you can special summon another Gagaga monster from hand if you want to. Or you can change the battle position of a monster on the field. This is very, very strong against Yami, because you just essentially bait out Cookie, like Cookie Yami Way, the guy that took off 2 of your monsters, and then you can go Gambara Knight and just flip the monster back up again, which is really, really, really strong and unexpected from them, because they just don't know it. Like, multiple people don't know that. So yeah. Then we have this Subaba Bacho Gagaga code. I'll only say this name once, don't worry. What this guy does is, while you control Subaba or Gagaga monster, you can special summon from hand, and then you can special summon a Go or Dodo monster from the graveyard. Also, Onomatokaga can special summon from hand or graveyard if you control any of these names. And then the last card, which is more or less a brick, is the Dodo Dwarf Go, which can special summon a Subaba or Gagaga monster from hand. and if you control a Dododo or Go, you can special summon them from the graveyard. So those are the Onomat cards, like the Onomat monsters, and yeah, I think the package is pretty small. You can always extend the package. There's a million other Onomat cards out there. Those are just the best and those that you need for the combo. Technically, you don't need the Astratopia, and technically, you do not need the second Onomatokaga. But if you want to have some most clean lines, I would always play the second Onomatokaga. However, Astratopia is not a must, but I thought it was a really nice addition to my deck, and it helped me a lot in the event. And also in testing, so yeah, I played it, obviously. Anyways, those are the Onomat cards. Then obviously we have some starters and extenders, or however you want to call them. The searches, essentially. So we ran 3-7 Tachyon for the Ryzeal cards, obviously. And I decided to also play another, extender starter, whatever, which is 7 Ascension, which is Search 7 Tachyon. In hindsight, it obviously should have been more hand traps. But you never know. Like, I think when we tested against Dragote and Radiant Typhoon, we opted for more consistency, because if they try to interrupt your gameplay with hand traps, or if they try to do anything, then you can just push further. And if they negate like 7 Tachyon with like Flame, instead of like having a Ghost Spell, for example, you just want to have another starter extender. Because in other matchups it becomes very handy, because the deck can push through boards really like a lot. Those mostly search the Ryzeal card, but I also can search Astratopia, which can get you into the Onomat engine, but usually I would call these the Ryzeal starters. And then obviously one Bonfire is to be expected to search X or Ice. For the Onomat starters or extenders, however you want to call them in like whatever game state, the searchers, we have 3 Onomatopyra. And again, I ran the 7 Ascension, so here I ran the Onomat Pickup. There was a card that I saw like once, because I searched it, but yeah. Those 2 cards essentially can be like 2 Ghost Spell or something. Would have probably been better in hindsight, but we didn't know that the format would have been so diverse. And then because you can search the Goblin Bursch, the Gambara Knight, as well as the Astratopia with Reinforcement Army, we thought that it was a nice inclusion in here. And with these many different surges, you had like a lot of extension and pushes, which really helped the deck elevate to a very nice level. And the card that glued all of these together, and as well as the non-engine, which we're talking about in a second, was Pot of Prosperity. Simply a card that I can recommend a lot in this kind of deck, because it can search you anything you want. And if you find out the win con of the deck, which we'll be seeing in the extra deck, then you see why Pot of Prosperity is really good in this deck. Also, we play a Droplet, because Droplet is the strongest card, I feel like, in the current format. And Prosperity, just searching Droplet, helps you break through all of these boards. And if they negate the Droplet with Flame or negate the Prosperity with Flame or Ash or whatever, then all of your other starters are going through. So it doesn't really matter. It literally just bait, and if it resolves, then it's just free, because you get to add any card you want. So yeah, these are all the starters or extenders, depending on the game state, the searchers. One of these cards just fell down. Wonderful. Which was, oh no, what to pick up. The worst card. The reason why it's the worst card essentially in this deck is because it's a continuous spell, which makes it very vulnerable to Fawn and Virtues, which is a really strong card right now. Also, let me make the cam a little bit lower. Yeah, Fawn and Virtues is a really strong card right now, and we knew this, but yeah, it didn't happen to be blasted on the Onomatopyra though, so a pickup, so it's fine. For the non-engine, I played 3 Perulias. 3 Fuva, I mean, but also 3 Perulia, and 3 Ash, as well as the 1 Kolpai, because the deck is very weak to both Fuva and Perulia. And then we played, in my opinion, the best card in the format, which is Droplet. There's so much turn 0 going on here, with like, I mean, not that much anymore, right, but 5 mana, Holy Sue, and as well as the Radiant Typhoon deck, because if you trigger a quick spell, then you can just do their stuff essentially. Which is really strong, and Droplet just kind of prevent all of that if you happen to draw it, but it's also a crazy breaker going second. And because we play so many Charmies, it just happened that a lot of game states you have a lot of cards in your hand, and then Droplet becomes really strong. That is the main deck. It's 43 cards. The reason for that is simply because we run some bricks that we don't want to draw, but I didn't want to go too high on deck count because I still want to draw the non-engine, and I thought that 43 was like the best number for that. But yeah, you could also cut down on like a couple of these starters, like you could cut the Onomat to pick up and the 7 Ascension go for 41, but 43 was also really important for side patterns, which I'll be talking about in a second. Coming to the extra deck, and then now you see the main win con of the deck. For the Ryzeal card, obviously, or like for the end board piece, we play the Detonator and the Dual Drive. Still very strong card that you need to play. There's only one Dual Drive here. Reason being, this extra deck is so tight, you don't even know, like it's crazy. There is nothing you can cut in this side in this extra deck. So maybe do Garrus, but you don't really want to cut this, but because you still need it. So yeah. Then we have Eclipse Twins, which you usually use to attach to the Detonator. But in this deck, it has a specific purpose, which I'll be showing you in the combo part later. Then for the board break cards, we run the Exciton Knight, as well as the Prime Mathematic Laplation. Those are crazy in board breaking, and also like, this is just hand rip, but hand ripping is not that strong right now. There's a lot of like cards that people can play. And hand ripping is only really good in like formats where like there's a lot of non-engine going around. So for example, they hand trip you 3 times, then they only have 2 cards left in hand, you know those are engine cards, and then you Laplation and you get rid of something really nice. But if people play like a lot of engine, they don't even hand trip you, like maybe 1 hand trap, and then Laplation is not really doing a lot, you know. So I don't really use it for hand trap, for hand ripping. Of course it comes up, but very rarely actually. What you usually use it for is like breaking boards apart. So how this works is if you, for example, get nipped, or if you play into a board, how this works is you special summon him, you need 3 materials for it, and then you detach it, and depending on how many like types of cards the opponent controls, so if you control the monster and has cards in his hand but he controls no spells, you detach 2 from Laplation, and then you get a destroy on resolution, meaning at non-target. You get destroy monster they control and rip 1 card off the hand. But if they control all 3 types, then you just detach 3 of Laplation, which is really nice because it triggers all the Onomat cards to add, you know. That's really nice. For, let's say, yeah, toolbox cards, I played 1 Dugaris, the Baguska, the Starleash, and that is the toolbox part, and then we also have the couple Surge card, which is Infernal Flame Banshee, and the Gaga. And then obviously we play the Masquerade for the 7 Tachyon, and for the target to dump with Ext Ryzeal, we have Ballon, as well as Mirrorlogic Aggregator. This is the extra deck apart from these 2 cards that I'll be talking about in a second, which is the main win con of the deck. As you can see here, all of these cards are mandatory. If you only draw Ryzeal cards, you usually do the Dual Drive Starleash Baguska board, which I'll be showing you in the common part, how to do it with all 3 starters, like with Ext, Sword, and and Ice. And Dugaris is, you need Dugaris in order to beat the Lunalight matchup, because the only way you beat the Lunalight matchup is one of these side deck cards, which is Light Ring and Ignitor. You might miss him here, but he's in the side deck because I think Lunalight not that much real, and if you go first you win anyways, and if you go second, if they don't respect the Starleash, it can also protect your Monsters a little bit from the Liga Dancer. So how it works is you just do Starleash and then you mix the Detonator, and then Detonator is like life, you cannot get fucked anymore, and then you just go to Garrus and mix the Detonator 6000, and then you just run over. And as long as the Starleash is here, the Detonator cannot be destroyed, like, it's fine. So that's how you just beat Lunalight without the Light Dragon and Ignitor. Post-side, you obviously put it in. But that's why you need to do Garrus. Like, you cannot cut any card here, it's really hard. Anyways, the last 2 cards in this extra deck are the main win con of the deck. And the main win con is Telanite Toramayos. So what Telanai Ptolemaeus does is his first effect is very irrelevant to the strategy. It's all about the second effect, which is if you can detach 7 material of him and then skip the opponent turn. Yeah, I did that a lot of times. Not a lot actually, but a couple of times. Yeah, the reason why we decided to go for Ptolemaeus was because we thought there was a lot of Draco Tail and Radiant Typhoon going around. We anticipated like at least 45 to 50%, but it was actually half of that. And those decks usually consist of a lot of engine, meaning that if you just get rid of like 1 or 2 hand trap, like if they use it, and then you just go Ptolemaeus, turn skip them, and they cannot play, you just OTK them turn after. And how to get these materials? Now you may ask, well, you cannot get 7 materials, right? Well, you make it with 5 materials, then Ryzeal plugin has another effect, which is you can special summon a XYZ or Ryzeal monster in your graveyard, and then attach a Ryzeal card from your deck to a monster you control, which is the 6 material to Ptolemaeus, and the 7 material comes from Daidaratan the Ooze Giant, which has the effect that you make it with 2 level 4 monsters, and then you can detach a material, put it into one of the pendulum zones. The other one effect is irrelevant to the strategy. And then the pendulum effect is you can target an XYZ monster you control and attach the Daidaratan the Ooze Giant to that material. And that's the 7 material for the Ptolemaeus, and then you just activate the Ptolemaeus with 7 materials and skip the opponent turn. That is the main win con of the deck. I know it's cringe, but it doesn't really come up that often as you may think. So yeah, that is the extra deck. It's incredibly tight, mainly because of Ptolemaeus and the Ooze Giant that you have to play in the strategy if you want to play it that way. But yeah, that is the extra deck. Coming to the side deck really quick, I played the Light Dragon and Ignister for the Lunar Light matchup, but also I played the Rhapsody and Berserk. So the reason why I did that is because, well, as you may have guessed, Ptolemaeus and Daidaratan are completely useless going second. So I just sided them out. I sided them out for these cards, and it was really nice. Rhapsody came up a lot. What Rhapsody does is essentially allows us to have our own SP within the level or like rank 4 archetype. Because twice per turn you can detach material and banish a card from the opponent graveyard, which is really strong. Banished like spell cards and Rose from the Sky Striker player, banished branded cards from a Draco Tail player, banished Mandate and Mystical Spade Typhoons from the Radiant Typhoon player, banished the Yummy Field spell, banished what did I also banish? I banished the Mitsurugi, one of the Kusanagi. So yeah, I banished a lot of things with the Rhapsody that were important for the opponent in order to grind, but yeah, that's really nice. And the other cards are 2 draw and Lockbird, because there was still a deck out there that you need to respect with draw. I played the Crossout because we are weak to some of these cards. And another reason why I played Crossout is because I felt like I did not have the space in my side deck to side out 6 Charmies. So I decided to only side out 4 Charmies and play the Crossout. And that helped me a lot in siding patterns. Because the card that we sided in for going first was 1 Droll, 1 Crossout, 1 Talent, and then the Unbreakable XYZ Barrier for 2 Perulias and 2 Fuvas, which was a really, really good trade-off. And yeah, I can really recommend that. But you see, I played these 2 cards. Then for the Radiant Typhoon and Draco Tail matchup, we played 3 Double Cyclone and 3 Evenly Matched, together with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. And this was really nice. Like, these cards performed really insane all day. Double Cyclone I only sided in once. So yeah, that was pretty useless. But yeah, I already made some changes with a friend, and as I told you in the beginning, but we should have sided in 2 cross for going first instead of the Crossout technology, I would say. but I don't think Ryzeal was bad. I just never saw it in 9 rounds, so kinda unlucky, I guess. But yeah, the double cyclone did not perform as much as I thought it would be. But mainly this was because we didn't face a matchup that we thought we were facing a little bit more often. The last card was Imperm, also as a crossout target, but more so the reason for Imperm was that I also played Droplet in the main deck, as you could see. And the main siding pattern was essentially that if Droll was good in the matchup, which it usually always was, like Droll is always okay going second, but if you go first and you have your board already established and you have Droll after that, it's really, really strong and toxic. So what we did was 2 Fuva, 2 Perulia, and 2 Droplet for these 6, and that worked out very well. Yeah, so you may ask now, well, if you go first and you turn skip your opponent, what do you side in? Because you don't know what he plays. So what we did here is we side in the Hypebeast Feather Duster and the Talent as well as the 3 evenly, because we felt like generally it was the best, these were the best targets for going second. And we sided out the Onomat Pickup, the 7 Ascension, the Astraitopia, the Glove, and the plugin. So those were like the side patterns. The reason for these is simply because we draw 6 cards. We have nearly the same amount of consistency percentual wise. So we just side these out. Also the pickup is weak to Fawn in the Versus, so everyone played that, so we just sided out. The Glove you only really need it for if you want to turn skip people, or if you want to do like crazy weird combos, which you don't going second. So we side this out. We tried out the plugin because we thought that it's not really that good going second. It really isn't. It sometimes comes up when your Exciton Knight get negated and you draw a plugin and you just revive the Exciton, attach a Ryzeal card as materia, and then just Exciton again. That happened once in the whole tournament. And when it happens, obviously nice, but it only happened game 1 when you lose dice roll. And then the Atratopia. The reason why you side this out is simply because it's too cost heavy going second. Because you need to send a card that you control or in your hand to the graveyard in order to add the Atratopia, and then to add the Onomatopoeia, and then Onomatopoeia also need to discard 1, so it's very cost heavy. So that's why we sided out going second as well. For these 5, and it worked out tremendously well. So yeah, these side patterns were really nice. And yeah, I wasn't just not happy about the double cyclone, honestly. And yeah, but everything else was really, really nice. And this Rhapsody was really, really awesome. Anyways, this was the deck profile. Now to the combo part. You may now wonder, well, how the fuck do we turn skip? Like, what the fuck is going on here? So let me show you. And then also, I'll show you the combo that you do with the Ryzeal cards only. So for this, I need a couple of cards. So let me search these out really quick. So I'll just put 1 Fuva in my hand because this is not really a 1 card combo. It's a 1.5 card combo, but you only do it going first, which means you always have a discard. So bear with me. We need the. I'll just pick up all the cards that we need for the combo. So bear with me really quick. Note Star Sword, Ice, Ext. Alright, so we have the Warrior in hand plus the Fuva. And now we use the effect of Warrior. So we go draw Semper main, obviously. We use effect of Warrior and we dump the Glove to the graveyard. Let me put it like this. And then we special summon it, and then he is level 4 and has 1800 attack. Then we use the effect of Glove because we control a Dododo or Gogogo monster, so we can special summon it. Now we overlay these for the Gaga. And then the Gaga detaches the Dododo warrior specifically and searches the Onomatopoeia. And then because he got detached for activation, we can add the Tsubaba Bancho Gaga code. And now you activate the Pyra, pitching the random card in your hand to search the Gambara Knight plus the Goblin Burst. And then you normal summon the Goblin Burst, use the effect to special summon the Onomatokaga. And overlay these, not for Drew Drive, because that will be playing into a lot of fucking hand traps. So what we do is we do the Flame Banshee, and what makes Flame Banshee so broken is that you get access to the Ryzeal card without using the Do Drive, and because we can search Star Ryzeal here if we want to, or get like Ext Sword and then Star, means we get access to Cross without going through Do Drive, which makes it very hard for the opponent to deal with this. So we search Ext here, and with the Goblin Burst we search a Go monster. In this case we search the second Onomat Kaga, which is why he comes up, and he counted everything, so yeah. Then we go for Ext Ryzeal, sending the Mirror Logic Aggregator, and then use the effect of X is shilling 1, effect of Mirror Logic Aggregator is shilling 2 to negate the Flame Banshee. You don't really have to do this, but it's just to chain block the Ash Blossom, which at this point should have been used already. You search Sword Ryzeal, and then you special summon Sword Ryzeal, and search the Star Ryzeal, and then you special summon the Star Ryzeal, detaching the Onomat Kaga, to set the Cross. I also forget that we need plugin, obviously. So where's the plugin? There. Then we overlay Sword and Star specifically for the Do Drive. Let me put these a little bit more down so we can. Also, we obviously flip the Cross up. We make the Ryzeal Do Drive. And we don't have an effect to attach because we don't have a Ryzeal monster in the graveyard. Now we use the effect of Do Drive, detaching specifically Sword Ryzeal, and from here the Gaga. So we still have the Cross Negate life. And with this we search the node and the plugin. And now we are using the effect of the Tsubaba Bancho Gaga code, because we control Gaga monster, we can special summon from hand. And with this we special summon the glove, because we can special summon a Dododo or Go, and it's the Dododo Go glove. And then with these two, with Ext and the Tsubaba Bancho, we make the Ooze Giant. And then with Ooze Giant we detach anyone, and then put it into the Pendulum Zone. Oops, like this. And now, this is why Eclipse Twins is important. We now use these two to make Eclipse Twins. And then you can use the Node Ryzeal, sending the Eclipse Twins, special summoning the Sword Ryzeal, and now it's very important that we don't use the Twins effect, like we usually would do, because you would clog your zones here. Now we use the Gloves effect, special summon a Gaga or Tsubaba monster from hand, which is the Onomat Kaga, which counts as anything. And the last thing we need to do now to make 5 material is use the Onomat Kaga's own effect, special summon from graveyard, because we control a Gaga monster or whatever. And now we have 5 monsters on the board, and we can make a 5 material Telanite Ptolemaios. And now we use the effect of plug-in, reviving the Ext Ryzeal, and attach the Ice Ryzeal from the deck to the Ptolemaios. And then we use the effect of Ooze Giant, attaching to the Ptolemaios. And now we use the effect of Ptolemaios with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 effects. Monsters. And now we skip the opponent turn. But this is not where it stops. What you do here is what I like to do here, is use the effect of Onomat Kaga to banish himself, shuffling back into the extra decks the Eclipse Twin as well as the Gaga. And then, because we have the Ganbara Knight in hand, I can use him, revealing the Gaga. And then with these two, I really like to make the Dogaris here, just to draw into more engine, or like more hand traps or whatever. And then you discard a random card. And then with these two you make Eclipse Twins, because we skip the turn of the enemy, meaning that if we pass, which we don't, we use Cross, and we shuffle back Ext and Node specifically onto the bottom of the deck to draw a random card, which I'll take one from the deck here. And now if we skip the opponent turn, we just go end phase. They don't get a draw, by the way. They don't get anything. It gets immediately skipped to the end phase, which they don't even have an end phase. But it's just our turn again. But because we drew the Dogaris, we don't have a draw. So we go standby main, and then I use the effect of cross, shuffling back the eyes and another sword to draw on a random card again. I'll take one here. Then we use the effect of do drive to detach off the Eclipse Twin, so the cross is still alive in case they have something. And you just search the Ext in the node. And then Ext searches sword searches ice, and then ice can special summon the other sword from deck because you don't have it in the graveyard. So, and from this point onward, you just, you have enough. I usually make the Laplacian from this point onwards, simply because then the opponent has to scoop because he doesn't want to show what he plays. But yeah, this is how you do the Ptolemaios combo. So now I want to show you the combo that you do when you only draw Ryzeal cards, which I think is also very important for people that want to play the deck or that want to play Ryzeal cards specifically, because it comes up a lot that you want to make the Stardish Baguska board. I'll explain why in a second. So let me get all these Ryzeal cards out here, so I can do the combo properly. Also, I'll take the Fuwa because for some of these combos we need a discard, which Fuwa is very good for. So I think those are all the Ryzeal cards. Yep. So let me get these here. Now, let's say we only have Ext Ryzeal on hand. This is the card where you don't need a discard. So I'll put the Fuwa away here. So, first of all, I'll just do the combo with Ext and then I'll explain why the Stardish Baguska board is so good. So in this case, we send the Detonator, which sounds really weird, but Bastilles are not really real in this format. Like, I don't think any deck plays Bastilles currently, any of these main decks. Maybe like pure branded with like one Saronia and one Magna maybe, but that's it. So yeah, you can send the Detonator without any like issue. It still feels weird, but it's correct when you do the ice and also with the other combos, because you will need a Ryzeal card. And we see in the extra deck we only have like the one do drive and the one Detonator, and we need to make do drive, so we have to send the Detonator. Anyways, we special summon X, we use the effect of X to search the sword. Then we special summon sword to search ice. We normal summon the ice to special summon the star. We use the effect of star to set cross. And then we activate cross. And now we overlay star and ice specifically for the do drive. And then we do not attach, very important. Then we overlay the sword and the Ext for the Stardish Photon Blast Dragon. And now, also the star was the fourth summon, and then we make do drive, so the enemy cannot debut anymore. Then we use the effect of do drives, and using specifically both materials from the Stardish, which is sword and Ext, to search the ice and the node. I like to search ice here. You can all do differently, but I like to search ice here. I'll show you why. And then I like to use the effect of cross, shuffling back the Ext and the Detonator. So we have the Detonator in the extra deck, very safe again. And then Ext to the bottom of deck, we draw a random card. And then we use the effect of node, sending exactly this random card to draw these, to special summon the Sword Ryzeal. And then we use these two to make the Baguska. So the reason why this board is so strong is simply the fact that Stardish has the effect that monsters with 2000 or more attack cannot be destroyed by card effects, and they cannot be targeted by card effects. Meaning, do drive pushing every monster we control by 200 attack point because you have two materials under it, makes it so. Oh, by the way, this is not negated by Baguska because Baguska only negates activate effect or passive effect like the do drive. So it means that the do drive pushes the Stardish by 200, makes a Stardish with the 1800 attack a 2000 attack monster, which makes Stardish affected by its own effect, meaning neither of my monsters can be targeted nor destroyed by card effects. And also, if you can see it, the earth, fire, and light, so they cannot be super polyed either. Meaning the only breakers that work against this deck, or like against this kind of strategy, are Forbidden Crown and Forbidden Droplet. There's probably others that I don't know right now, like Dark Ruler, for example, also works. But this is not being played right now, so only like Droplet and Crown are your real like problem cards here. But even that can be played around with other cards like the Unbreakable XYZ Barrier, for example, if you go like game 2 or game 3. But yeah, this board is really, really strong. And it's very hard to break through because you still have like Cross to negate and all of it monster to negate anyway. And this is all from one card. And you have the Ice Ryzeal as follow-up here. So in case things go south, you can still like follow up with the Ice Ryzeal in the next turn. So yeah, this is really nice. Also, the Node Ryzeal being detached of the Baguska in the standby phase, like in your next standby phase, and then you draw a random card, and then you put the Baguska in attack position, and then you use the effect of Drives, detaching the Ice Ryzeal and the Sword Ryzeal from the Baguska, and then you still have the cross life. Very important. And then you can shuffle back the Node and the Sword, in this case, or like the Node and the Ice actually, because you have the Ice in hand already. So this is like how you do this with Ext Ryzeal. Now the other combos are a little bit more convoluted because you have to go through hoops, but don't worry, I'll show you these hoops in a second. So with the Ice Ryzeal combo you need one discard, which I'll just show with Fuva here. So we obviously normal summon Ice Ryzeal, use its effect special summon Sword Ryzeal, because we need to dump with Ext Ryzeal. So we search Ext Ryzeal with a Sword Ryzeal, and then special summon the Ext Ryzeal, sending again the detonator. And with the Ext Ryzeal, we are searching another Sword Ryzeal. So with this, actually we can also search Node actually. We search Node. So now we use these two. Remember, this is the third summon. Now we are special summoning the Drive, which is the fourth summon. So now we use the Drive effect to attach from the detonator. So now we attach, and then we use the effect of Drive, and now we get rid of Ext and Sword specifically to search Cross and plug in. I know this sounds weird, but let me just hear me out. Then we activate Cross, so this is still the fourth summon, so we're not on the nub here. And now you can just go Node Ryzeal, sending the Fuva, special summoning the Sword Ryzeal, and then you overlay these if you want to, but you can also just use the plug-in here, special summon the Ice Ryzeal, and attaching another Ryzeal card to the Drive. And now you can make, in this case I really like to use Node specifically, Node and Ext for the Baguska. So this get turned to defense, and then Sword and Ice for the Starleash. The reason why I'm doing this is because obviously also with the Ice setup you cannot draw with Cross. So let us make sure that you don't forget, in case you think you need to draw. The reason why I do that is because in your standby phase you can detach the Ext of the, or like you need to detach of the Baguska in standby, it's mandatory, and then you can just detach the Ext, and then you can go Cross, put plug in an Ext back, and then Drive makes this, so it's still untargetable. Obviously put this in attack first, and then you can search the Ext and the Star, because Ext searches Sword. But then you don't have any other target, so you have to wait a little bit, but this is why you can go Star. So what you do then is you just special summon Ext, you add the Sword, and then you special summon Star, set the plug in, and then, yeah, then you go from there. But, yeah, this is why I do the things I do. I hope you could see why. I hope this explained a little bit. So now, the normal summon Sword is very weird, but yeah, it also needs a discard. But we get to the same end board, so it's fine. You can also end on like Baguska plus Detonator and Cross. So in case they out the Baguska, you still have the Detonator. That also works. I just don't like to have a Detonator without twins, so yeah, it's a little bit weird. So we normal summon Sword Ryzeal, which is obviously the weakest normal, because usually you normal summon Ice Ryzeal and special something from the deck. So we normal summon the Sword Ryzeal, we searched Ext Ryzeal, And then we special summon Ext Ryzeal, sending the Ryzeal detonator. And then we use the effect of X to search the node. So in this case, you have to play it not a little bit weird, but very, very weird. So what you do here is you overlay this. This is the second summon. So you overlay this for the Do Drive, which is the third summon. Then you use the effect of Do Drive to attach the detonator. Now you use the effect of Do Drive, detaching specifically Ext and Sport again. For the Star Ryzeal, actually no, for the plug-in and the cross. And then no, Star Ryzeal. Star Ryzeal and plug-in. And then you this is the fourth, the third summon. You go fourth summon Star Ryzeal, detaching the detonator, using the effect of Star Ryzeal to set cross. And then you activate cross. This is the fourth summon, remember. This is not the fifth summon, it's the fourth summon. So now you go for effect of plug-in, reviving Sword Ryzeal. And now this is the fifth summon, but we have not resolved plug-in yet. Because we can still attach from the deck to the Do Drive. And that is the fifth summon. So now if the enemy wants to Nibiru us, we already have material on this Do Drive. So when that proof, everything is fine. And now you just go Node Ryzeal, send Fuva, special summoning the Ext Ryzeal. You can also, you actually don't have discard here, you can just shuffle these back, so you actually don't need a discard here. I guess it's, you can just draw and then discard the random card. With the cross, so you just shuffle these back. And then draw the random card, pitch it off the Node Ryzeal. And now again, I like to do this here. And here you can see that you, in order to get the proof with the normal summon Sword line, you only end on one material under the Do Drive, meaning that you just cannot reliably do the Star Leash board, because the Star Leash will have 1900, which means it can be targeted, which means that if you target it and negate it, then the Baguska is also negated. So what you can do here is you can go Baguska plus the detonator. However, I don't like this, so because it doesn't have, like, probably not even mounted to attach if you don't have any. So you can still do the Baguska Star Leash board here. I would think it's still valid to do that. Only because the Star Leash can still be targeted now. Doesn't mean that it's a bad board by any means, right? So you just do the same here. You detach the Ext then. The only issue is that you cannot shuffle this back, which is why I like to still use a card from hand when I do this with Sword Ryzeal, simply because then I can shuffle the Ext and the detonator back and search it with the Do Drive again. I think this is just something that I like to do. And also it changes the game state a little bit, because if you have the detonator still in the deck and then the plug-in, also you realize oh yeah, this is the Sword right there, right? So let me just put me a random card here. This is the discard that we did of the Node Ryzeal. So what happens here is it's your turn again. You detach the Ext Ryzeal specifically, and then you go cross, shuffle back these two specifically, the Ext and the detonator. You draw a random card, which I cannot, it should be a random card. And now you just go attack position, I mean you don't have, but Do Drive, detach these. Then you search Ext and Ice. And then you can Ext for Sword. And obviously the Sword cannot search you anything here, but this is like, I think it's always better to start with Ext here, because then you like can still do something more, because Ext can send Mirror Aggregator or Valon, so there's like a lot more to do with Ext here. Anyways, this is the combo that you can do, like how you make the Star Leash Baguska board like in any scenario. But this is not the end of the video. Because there is an updated version that I did with a friend, that I think has a little bit more merit to the current format, now that we know that the format is a little bit more diversified than we anticipated. And in order to do this, we still play all of the same card except the Ryzeal plugin. You can still play it, but for this version, we did not play the plugin, and we decided to drop the 7 Ascension as well as the Onomat pickup. We also put the Perulia in the side deck. You can play Droplet, you don't have to. And then we... I think everything else is... Oh no, we also dropped the Astrotopia. Because what we wanted to achieve was essentially a deck that played a lot of hand traps. So all of these are changed for hand traps. So meaning that instead of the Perulia, we play 3 Imperms, for example. Again, these 3, we, for example, play 3 Bell. For these 3 droplets, you can play 3 Morna. You can also play 3 Droplet and then 2 Bell and 2 Morna, for example, and then still play 3 Droplet in the main deck. So, essentially, a build that has more hand traps. But then you may ask now, well, if you don't play plugin, do you play the turn skip? You don't. You don't. What we do though is we play another Eclipse Twins, and die goes to Emerald instead of the Talanite Totemiot and the Ooze Giant. So let me just show you how this changes the whole dynamic of the deck by doing the exact same combo that I've been doing before. So let me put these to the side. Let me just put them here, and then I'm not gonna re-sleeve right now, but yeah. So we still do the combo with the one Dodo Warrior. I'm not gonna try to collect all of these cards here, so I'll just go this and the Fuva, and then we just search the deck a little bit. So I use the effect of Warrior. You will see a lot of similarities with this combo than the last combo, but towards the end it's gonna change a lot and it's gonna look so weird. But you'll see what I'm what this is trying to do in a second. So from here it's just a little bit of a of the same thing that we did before. So we search the Onomatopyra. We use this effect to search the Tsubaba. And then we use Pyra, pitching the random card in hand to search the Gambara Knight and the Goblin Burst. And then we normal summon the Goblin Burst, special summoning the Onomatokage from deck. So this is the game state right now. And now we do the same thing as we did before as well, which is that we go through Flame Banshee, because that way you don't have to go through Doodrev. So you go Flame Banshee, which searches you the Ext Ryzeal, and then the Goblin Burst searches you the second Onomatokage, and then you go for Ext Ryzeal here. Exactly the same as before, except that here you just send a random level 4 that you don't need anymore. So in this case, there's just Stardish here, because that's the one we are least likely to need here. You search Sport search Star detaches the Onomatokage, use the effect special to place the Ryzeal Cross, and then you flip the Ryzeal Cross, and you make Doodrive. So everything that we did here was literally exactly like we did it in the turn skip combo. And here we use the Doodrive to search. We detach of the same materials, but, very big but, we search Note and Ice this time, because we do not play plugin. I know it's in the deck, but you know, it's not in the deck here that we did with my friend. So our hand looks like this right now, which is crazy to think that this comes off one card. Anyways. Now we special summon the Gagaga code, because we can still control Gagaga, and use its effect to special summon the glove. We know this. But instead of going for the Ooze Giant, which we don't have anymore, we go for Daigos to Emerald. Why? Because drawing cards is awesome. Also, Daigos to Emerald serves a greater purpose than drawing cards, which is that the Onomat cards are pretty exhaustive, meaning you use them once and they cannot be used again because they're all in the graveyard and then they don't have a use anymore except special summoning the Kage and the Glove. However, with Emerald, you can just shuffle them back and use them all over again, which makes it really nice in the grindy format, which we are currently in. We are in the grindy format, so the Emerald comes in very handy, but also in this combo it's searching a ridiculous amount of cards. I'll show you. So we use the Emerald, detaching specifically the Tsubaba Bancho, because Daigos to Emerald is so broken that it only needs 3 monsters in the graveyard to activate, but you can still target the one you detached afterwards. So we detached the Tsubaba Bancho and targeted also the Goblin Burst as well as the Dodo Warrior. We shuffle these into the deck and then we draw a random card. So the draw is the Goblin Burst, funnily enough. I'll put the draw in the banished pile here face down so we can see how many cards we draw. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna get very wild here. So now, this is getting a little bit weird now. We are going to use the Daigos to Emerald as well as the Gagagaga to make the first Eclipse Twins. So I'll make the Eclipse Twins here like this. That's why we also need 2, by the way. And then I'll use, now we have 3 monsters on board. I'll put this to the very right. We use the effect of the Glove to special summon the Kage, so everything as we also do it in the other combo. And then we special summon the... no, actually we don't do that. We special summon Node Ryzeal. We use the effect of Node Ryzeal, sending the Eclipse Twins. And then we use the effect of Daigos to the Eclipse Twin to target Daigos to Emerald, as well as the Starleash Photon Blast Dragon. And attach it to the Daigos to Emerald. And that's why Node... Oh no, wait, we don't do it with Node, we do it with Special Summon Ice. My bad. Special Summon Ice. I know the combo is very convoluted, but yeah. Then we use the effect of Daigos to Emerald a second time to shuffle back the Gagagaga, the Starleash Photon Blast Dragon, because now we don't need it anymore, as well as the Ext Ryzeal. Actually, can also be the twins. Let's just do the twins here. So you shuffle all these back. And the twins, I'll just put it here for now. And then you use the effect of the Glove, special summon the Kage. And then you use... I have to look really quick with the Kage in the graveyard still. So you use these 2 to go into the Dugaris. And then you use the effect of Dugaris to draw 2 cards. Also, we drew a card of the Daigos to Emerald. I forgot that. So yeah, we draw two cards. We draw 2 cards with Dugaris, which is 4 cards already. Of course, we have to discard a card, but this is just about how many cards we draw. And then you special summon the Onomat to Kage, because we still control this guy here. We can special summon the Kage from the graveyard. And now you have to overlay the Dugaris and the Daigos to Emerald for a where is it? For another Eclipse Twins. So terrible. You use the effect of Gambara Knight to show the Gagagaga special summon itself. With these you make Prime Mathematic Laplation to hand rip the enemy of 1 card, using specifically the Onomat to Kage. Oh, actually no, using the Gambara Knight. Sorry. Yeah, using the Gambara Knight. and then hand rip the opponent for 1, obviously. Why not? So we draw 4 cards, and we hand rip the opponent for 1. Then you use the effect of Gambara Knight to add a Go-Go-Go monster, which will be the Goblin Burst. So, meaning you have a follow-up. Also, we drew the Goblin Burst. So I'll put it here and put another card here. So we search the Goblin Burst for follow-up for next turn. So now we have Laplation here. And now we special summon the Node Ryzeal. And Node Ryzeal is going to send the... I mean, you don't have to do the Laplation. You can do it, actually, you can do it in 2 ways. Either you want to draw another card, or you want to hand loop the enemy. I just think that drawing 5 cards already enough, but you can also draw 6 by not going Laplation, but going Node, sending the Daigos to Emerald, and then banishing the Onomat, shuffling back the Daigos to Emerald. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna show you. Before, I'll just show you. I think it's easier to just show you than explaining it in words. So we don't do the twins here. We have this set up. Node is still in our hand, and the Kaga was here. So in this case, yeah, you go Daigos to make this. Node Ryzeal, send this. Special summon the Sword Ryzeal. Then you go Detonator. Detonator, attach the Eclipse Twins. Then you overlay these 2. Oh no, wait, you don't overlay now. You go Onomat, shuffle back specifically the Daigos to Emerald only, nothing else. Then you overlay these for the Daigos to Emerald. And then you use the effect of Emerald, shuffling back the, detaching this guy. Oops. And shuffling the Dugaris, the Glove. And now you shuffle back the random monster you sent from hand. And then you, I'll put the Fuva here. You draw a 5th card. And now you can go across, shuffling back the Ext and the Ice that you have in your graveyard still. And you draw another random card, like this. So your only card left in your graveyard is your Onomat Pyra, which is very funny. And then the Emerald obviously still has a material. So for the next turn you can, if you detach the little bit of material of the Detonator, you can do all of that again. Or you do what I did before, just scroll back. You hand rip the opponent for 1, so you don't make the second Emerald. But you can still shuffle it back if you want to. But I think drawing, like, it depends on what you draw, obviously. Like, if you only drew, like, more engine, then obviously you want to draw a little bit more with the Emerald, just to get, like, more Ash, Bell, whatever, hand traps. And then if you draw, by the way, this was off 1.5 card combo, meaning you draw, you have 3 other cards in your hand, and you drew 6 cards. Meaning this is your hand. Obviously you have to discard 1 card for Dugaris, but I think you'll find a little bit of a target to discard here. So this is one of these combos that you can do here. Just another like combo that you can do with the Daigos to Emerald. Now, before I finish this video, I know this is a long video, but over 1 hour actually, this is crazy. Before I finish this video, I want to go back to the turn skip version. And show you, because you may be interested in a anti-nip proof line, or like how to play up if you get nipped, which I'll be showing you now. So let me get these cards really quick back into this here, and then I'll get my wonderful Dodo Warrior, and then the Fuva, obviously. Not this one, this is an ultra rare, this is very ugly. So give me the other Fuva. Thank you. Alright. So let's start over. We use the Warrior to dump the Glove to the graveyard. Then I'll speed it up a little bit. So this looks a little bit ugly now, but I'll speed it up a little bit. So we use this. Make the detach the Dodo Warrior, search Pyra, and then this guy searches the Tsubaba, my god. Then we pitch the Perulia with the Pyra, and we search the Gagaga Gambaranite. Is very important, and this is also why we search this, by the way. Like, I'll show you why. We normal summon the Goblin Burst, special summon the Kage. We go for the Flame Banshee. We detach the Goblin Burst, search Ext Ryzeal. Goblin Burst searches as the other Onomat Kage. And then Ext Ryzeal is sending not Eclipse Twins, but literally anything, it doesn't matter. Okay, not Drive, not Detonator, Dugaris, for example. Okay, whatever, man. Let me just put the fucking aggregator. So usually just an aggregator. Then chaining one action to aggregator to chain block. You don't really need to do this, but you know. Search Sport, special summon Sport, search Star Ryzeal. And then special summon Star Ryzeal by detaching the Kage, using the effect of Star Ryzeal to set the cross. So now you activate cross, and now your opponent's going to Nibiru you. So we just say it's fine. Like, it may look like it's not fine, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. So he nips us. This is our hand. So from this point onward, you have a nip token lying around somewhere. So let me put it like this. So we have the nip token here. So remember that the opponent has used Nibiru the primary being, meaning that they have month down field and 4 cards in their hand. That is to be remembered. So now, in order to push through, we have the Gambaranite and the Onomat Kage. This is why we search these, by the way. We use the effect of Onomat Kage in the graveyard, banishing itself, shuffling back the Gagaga and the Meteorologic Aggregator. And then we are using the effect of the Gagaga Gambaranite, reveal the Gagaga, special summon it, and the Onomat Kage from hand. Now we use the effect of Tsubaba Bancho Gagaga code, because this is the last time we have a Gagaga monster on the field or whatever. So now we overlay these two for the Drive. And then we use the effect of Drive to attach the Star Ryzeal. Because now we can do that, so it's really nice. And then we use the effect of Drive. It's very important only here that you detach the Kage. The rest is not important. You detach the Kage and, I don't know, the Gambaranite. And then you search... I like to search Ice Ryzeal here for a specific reason. You can also search Plugin. Plugin may even make more sense if you want to go for Star Leash as well. So you can go Plugin, detach the Drive. However, I like to use Ice here. But let's just say you don't have to use Ice here. You can also use Plugin if you want to. I'm actually not sure if it makes a difference in materials in the graveyard. When we go Plugin, we special the X. Then we use the X. No, it doesn't make a difference. It's fine. We can just go Plugin. So we have another material under the Drive. It's okay. It's better like that. So remember, he has Nib and 4 cards in hand. Now we use the effect of the Tsubaba Bancho Gagaga code. Special summon the Glove. And then we use the effect of Kage, because we haven't used Kage in the graveyard yet, remember. We use Kage special summon. So now we are using a 3 material Laplacian to hand rip the opponent for 1. So in this case, I really like to put the Kage away here, so we have access to the Kage whenever. And then we hand rip the opponent for 1. Oh, also you use the Glove here, Glove and Kage, because you pop the Nibiru and rip them off 1 card in the hand. That's really, really nice. I mean, for us, not for them. Now you use the effect of Plugin, revive the Ext Ryzeal. Now you attach the Ice Ryzeal to the Drive. And now you overlay these two. Yeah, Plugin's better. I forgot why, but because I don't get nipped that often here. So yeah, you make twins, and then you just make note, send twins, revive Sword. You don't use twins here. I mean, you can go twins and flame with the Laplacian, but then you don't have another rank 4 in the graveyard for the Detonator with the twins. And yeah, we make Detonator here. So Detonator attaches the twins, obviously. And now you can still use cross, shuffling back the Ext Ryzeal as well as the plugin. And then draw a random card. So remember that you also have 3 other cards in hand because it was 1-card combo. So you have 4 other cards in hand. So you essentially handloop the opponent for 1. Nibiru is gone, so that's not threat anymore to punch over your monsters. The do drive is plus 200 and makes the enemy monsters minus 200. You have Detonator cross and draw 1 card and have 3 other cards in hand. And that through Nibiru, I think is not bad. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Also, before I say goodbye, also keep in mind that the Nibiru, we have Ext, Sword, and Star. So we have Ext is 500 attack. By the way, it cannot die. The defense too big. But Ext has 500. That's 1,500. The 2,000, 3,800, 4,800, 5,300, 6,300. That's 7,000. So the Nibiru token is 7,000 attack, which is pretty much. So in case they cannot beat your board, and this is like also win con through like against some decks, you just make it so that they cannot beat the Nib token, and then you can just put in an attack and beat over with 7,000 attack. I know it was big, but I didn't remember how big, so I just calculated. But this is like how you can also use Nibiru to your advantage, essentially. And why it doesn't matter if you play into it with this specific board and game state. But yeah, I hope you could enjoy my long jabbing session about Onomat Ryzeal. I'll probably let the deck rest for a little bit, because I was pretty bummed out about what happened at the YCS. I hope you still enjoyed the video. If you have any questions regarding any combos or whatever, then please leave it down in the comment below. I'm always happy to talk about this deck and whatnot. But yeah, without further ado, I would say thank you for watching and have a great day and goodbye.